Alright, so let's continue, and this time we're going to work with what you call in Java's method. So a method is a subsection of a program where you try to divide your program into subunits such that it will be maintainable. So let's try with the mathematical operation adding up two numbers, but this time we're going to use a method. So let's review first the one that we did last time, which is reading of two values. So system.out.print, enter first number, okay, and we'll just need to copy this one so that it will be faster. This is second number, and then the total. First num plus second num. And then we'll just say total is plus total. Okay, so let's try this one. Okay, so we have here incompatible types. Okay. So next, reads a string. If you want read an integer, you use next int. Okay, compile, and then let's run it. Okay, first number 10 and 5. Okay, so let's convert this one into a method. So a method is basically something like this, but we have the data type returned, we have the name of the method, and then the parameters. So in computing for the total, the input will be the first num and the second num, and the total will be the result of those of that operation. So again, since the main method is static, we cannot call directly a method into this method of static method, so we need to define this method as static. Then we're going to add two numbers, and then the result of this one, which is total, is of type integer. So the next one is the type of the returned value, which is integer. And then the name of the method, let's say we're going to name it add. And then you have two parameters, which is the first num and the second num. Okay, so method that returned a value should have the keyword return. Okay, so what is our operation on this number? So we're going to compute the total. So we say total equals to first num plus second num, and then we return the total. Okay, so then we could use this method to compute two numbers. So in this case, instead of this one, you say we're going to add the first num to the second num, and then the result after calling this method, the result, which is the total, is assigned to the total variable, and then it will be displayed. Take note, this method, the parameter names and the local variable to the method can be any name, because these variable are specific to this method. So example, we're just going to name it as F and S. So we pass the value F and S, and then we assign it, example, to T. Okay. So first num, which the value that we read, and the second num is passed to the add method, and this first num is mapped to the variable F, and the second num is mapped to the variable S. And then we compute the total by doing F plus S, and then assign it to the variable T, and that this T, which already has a value of adding F and S, will be returned. So this one, whatever value returned is assigned to total variable, and then we just display it. Okay, so let's try to run this one, compile, and then run. Say 10 and 12. Okay, so the total is 22. Okay, so that is how you make method that return value. Of course, you could create a method also that doesn't return any value. So example, static void, say display, and then say we're just going to display system out, then print line, enter a value. Okay, and instead of this one, we're going to call the method display, and then also this one, display. All right, so what will happen is it will call this method which doesn't return any value, and then we'll execute this one. So let's run it. Enter a value 10, enter a value 24, total is 34. So that's how you use the method. Take note, for now, we're just creating a method within this class and calling it directly to the main method, which is our entry point. And since main method is a static method, you need to define your method to be static. So what happens if we remove the static keyword here? So when you compile it, it throws an error which says non-static method, which is display, cannot be called or referenced from a static context. So this is the error or exception that you are going to get if you're trying to call a non-static method within a static method. So that's why you need to define this one as a static method. Okay. So what if you're going to do another method that multiply two numbers? So since we have an example here already, so we could again define static int multiply, then again declare the parameter. So in this case, we're just going to name it A and B, and then instead of assigning or declaring a variable to compute the product of these two numbers, you could also do just return it directly. So in this case, we could say product equals to multiply the first num and the second num, and whatever the result, we're going to assign to the product variable, and then we're going to display. Okay, so let's compile and then run. Okay, so 5 and 4. So the total is 9, but then the product is 20. Okay, so let's do another one. We're going to identify if the number entered is an odd or an even number. So let's just comment this out. So again, for a block comment, you put in with the slash asterisk, and the ending is asterisk slash. So the name of the method is, say, evaluate if odd or even. Let's just name it evaluate. Okay, and then of course it should be static. And then what will be returned? So we just want to identify if the number is odd or even. So it will return true or false, which is of type Boolean. And then this is the input, say input. And then we'll say input, whatever the number entered, divide remainder 2 mode 2 is equals to 0. If it's equal to 0, it's an even number, else it's an odd number. So you can just return it directly. Okay, so let's add even. Let's make a routine here to enter a value, and then the method evaluate will return Boolean. So evaluate, and then the add even value, and then we'll just display the result. Okay, compile, run. Okay, so 12 true, so means the value is even. Say 17 false, means the value is odd number. Okay, so you just need to declare a method that returns a specific data type based on what you want the method to do, and then of course the input to that method. Say let's create a method that will reverse the string. So again, this is a static method, and the type is string. Take note, the string here is an object type. That's why we use the capital letter. Then reverse the string, and then the input is also a string. Okay, then we'll use the for loop. Okay, so we need to declare a variable, and then we'll use the for loop to get each character from the last part going back. So str length -1. Take note, it's -1 because in Java counting starts at 0. And then while I is greater than 0, let's continue the loop, and then I++. And then the result plus equal is the same as saying result is equals to result plus. Okay, so it's just a shorthand notation result equals to result plus the string character at I. Okay, so it will be from the last part going to the front, and then we return the result. Okay, so let's just remove this one and then say str or s equals to scan.next, and then the result will reverse the string, which is the s, and then we'll just output it, the result. Okay, compile. Oh, char at, not chat at, char at. Okay, again, this is the problem with having text editor rather than the IDE, because it doesn't give you any hint that what you're writing is not correct. But then the advantage of using this kind of just a text editor is that you'll be able to really know the syntax on your own without help from your IDE. It will be better in the long run. Okay, so compile and then run. Okay, what is the string? So this is a long string. Then when we press enter, so it reverses the string. Oh, okay. So if you notice here, the letter T is not included. So seems like the condition here is not correct. So it should be greater than or equals to 0. Compile, then run. This is a long string. Right. So it reverses the string itself. So this is just an introductory to method. In this case, it's not object-oriented yet. So we just define our method as static, so that we can just call it directly from the main method.